What's up, guys, and welcome back to Rule of Two Review. My name is Rob, and today we're going to talk about Nintendo's Amiibo. Alrighty, well, it's the second week of November, and a lot of the great games for the month have already started to come out. I myself have been playing a few, so sometime over the next couple of days, or maybe week, keep an eye out for some impressions videos. I'm going to be putting up a video talking about my impressions and early feelings on the Halo Master Chief Collection and Sonic Boom, and I also still want to do one for Sunset Overdrive, which I've been playing quite a bit as well. Recently, I was able to do my Bayonetta 2 and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare impressions. That was a lot of fun. You guys seem to like that stuff. So with these other new games that I've been spending a lot of time playing the last day or so, again, Halo, Master Chief, the Sunset Overdrive, and also Sonic Boom, I still want to be able to put that stuff up and talk about it. So again, keep an eye out for that. However, what I want to talk about today is actually something pretty near and dear to my heart, which is, of course, Nintendo. And I will kind of discuss the Amiibos, because the Amiibos are, as I mentioned in the recent Nintendo Direct video I made, it's a huge thing for Nintendo right now. We know that they're pushing for this big time. They want to see a lot of success. They want to strengthen the Nintendo brand and the idea of Nintendo as a great gaming company in the minds of gamers and also for young kids. Also in the collectors that a lot of gamers are. And so they have this Amiibo project coming out where it's, you know, NFC technology built into these little Nintendo-specific character figures that works in tandem with the Wii U gamepad and has all sorts of different interactive capabilities with different Nintendo games and potentially third-party stuff down the road. And like I said, it's a big rollout for Nintendo. This is probably going to be something that's very popular and successful for them. The hype behind them is very, very strong right now. And we know that there's probably not a lot of money going into making these things. They're selling them at only $13 a piece. So they're probably making a lot of money off every Amiibo they sell. And they will be selling millions of them just before the end of this year, let alone throughout the life of this whole concept in the Wii U. And it's weird because even as a diehard Nintendo fan, there's a couple of these that I kind of did want to pick up for the collector's sake, but overall, the Amiibo thing hasn't been super, super interesting to me. It has been a little bit, and like I said on my Nintendo Direct video a couple of days ago, I did talk about how cool some of the Hyrule Warriors connectivity features are, the way you can use it with Mario Kart and have your Mii dressed up in the character of the figure you scan in. And I'm sure a lot of the Smash Brothers stuff they've talked about as far as building your own character, that stuff seems pretty neat too. But overall, it just seems like a pretty cool novelty that I only want to get invested in for the few characters I really like, and more so just for having the little tiny figure than actually wanting to get involved with the figures and then the games and how they interact and stuff. However, they've released information on Wave 2 and what I think they're considering Wave 3 over the last day or two. And honestly, like, the more I look at this stuff, and after the Nintendo Direct and the release of the new Wave information, honestly, like, I'm starting to get pretty pumped, you know? And it's pretty weird for me as a Nintendo fan to not be so into this idea initially. And like I said, it was never really anything that stood out in my mind as a bad thing or anything I had a problem with, especially because so many people were excited about it. And I think it's a great initiative by Nintendo. I don't know, it just hasn't been super, super interesting to me. Like I said, I really just wanted to get the few Samus and Fox and Link and stuff, like characters that I just really care about, want to have the figures of. And so now that I've been reevaluating, and now that they've started to discuss what the Amiibos can do, just right out of the gate with the first couple of games, initially we were like, okay, we know they're going to work for Smash Brothers, of course, but what other games will it work for, and how long will it take for more games to start working with the Amiibos? And they've started to give us an idea because of games like Hyrule Warriors and Mario Kart, you know, how these things are going to work and the kinds of things that they can do. And so the other big thing, well, I guess here's the first thing I want to talk about is now that I've seen the next two waves, it started to really get me excited. Like, I knew we'd be getting characters like this down the road, but since we hadn't seen them, I wasn't really thinking that far ahead. And now we've seen the Zero Suit Samus, and we've seen Sonic, and we've seen Toon Link and Mega Man, and I'm like, okay, god damn it, now I feel like I freaking want all of these. It's starting to hit me. I haven't reserved any. It might or might not be too late to pre-order some. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at Amazon or at my local GameStop, so I don't know. I might just wait and just pick them up slowly over time. I'm not, like, dying to have any of these things day one, really, not even for Smash Brothers, which now launches in just under 2 weeks' time. But like I said, this new wave is really starting to get exciting. Honestly, the Zero Suit Samus and the Toon Link and the Sonic, those were the ones that sold me. I was like, Jesus Christ, I need these things. They're amazing. Look at that Zero Suit Samus. It's fantastic, you know. Again, something that, you know, we always knew and I always knew was going to come and going to happen. But once we saw it and had the confirmation, and it's, you know, the other cool thing about seeing these other waves is that it's sort of showing that Nintendo's farther ahead of the game than maybe I at least thought coming out of the gate. My fear was that, okay, Smash Brothers comes out, so right with the release of this huge game, they're going to have these initial 12 or 13 Amiibos, whatever the first wave launch is. And those are cool, and it's going to work with a couple games, including Smash, and that'll be nice, but who knows how long it'll be before we see more and get an idea of what else Nintendo has planned for the Amiibo project and how they're going to work with other games. I was like, it might, for all we know, it wouldn't be till like next summer before we saw more. And boy, was I wrong, because we have waves 2 and 3 already being shown and talked about. So if there's any confirmed release date or release window or structure for these next waves, if you know that stuff, feel free to you know, mention that down below in the comments. I haven't really researched that far into it. I just saw these new waves that they were talking about in the pictures of the new figures. Really, really exciting, you know? So, and here's honestly the other huge factor for why I'm starting to get excited about the Amiibos myself, is early rumors and rumblings of potential third parties getting in on this. So that becomes really exciting, you know? And it's weird because you look at the Smash Brothers relation to Amiibos and it's like, okay, well, we have a Mega Man and a Sonic. Those are two third parties that are coming. And I think even Shulk has already been shown as one, which I, of course, want that as well. Or sorry, Shulk, but that's, you know, Monolith Soft, so that's actually not third party. So never mind, scratch Shulk, forget I brought him up. But again, Mega Man and Sonic are two third-party characters, a Capcom and a Sega character, respectively. Those have Amiibos coming out. Granted, it's because of Smash Brothers, and those characters aren't Smash Brothers, so okay. But if we look at stuff down the road, like if they do, you know, Bayonetta's a good one. All the Wonderful 101 characters are good ones. The other Sonic characters that aren't in Smash Brothers, those are really good examples. You know, Rayman, things like that. Other things that other companies have used. For hell, for all we know, Madden comes back, and what if they release football Madden Amiibos? Like, there's a lot of potential here. Not to mention, you know, any other, like, you know, third-party exclusive content that ends up coming out for the Wii U down the road. Or even, I mean, I just thought of this, even other third-party games that are multi-platform in the future, like maybe still part of the benefit of a third-party making a game on the Wii U, even if it does come out on the Xbox One and PS4 also, is that, hey, we can also incorporate this Amiibo functionality. We're going to create these figures, and, you know, you'll get a cut of this profit, so there's, you know, an incentive for these third-party companies, excuse me, an incentive for these third-party companies to create games for the Wii U, let the Amiibos happen, be made, and implement something into their game for the Amiibos, and then they're making a little bit extra money because we know that the Amiibos can do really well, especially if we see over the next couple of months that they really do perform as well as we think they are and generate as much money for Nintendo as we think they might. So, you know, the third-party potential down the road is a really cool thing, you know? I'm trying to think of good examples. You know, like if Resident Evil comes back, you know, some Resident Evil character Amiibos, I would jump all over that. You know, that would be so fantastic. There was another one that went in and out of my head. I just can't even remember. I don't know. You name a third-party game. If it came to the system, it would be really exciting to have that stuff. Like Metal Gear. Like, why not a Snake one? You know, there's a lot of potential for things that could always come out on the Wii U, third-party, exclusive multi-platform, first-party stuff, all these things. There's just a lot of things to potentially pick from. So, depending on how Nintendo pushes these going forward, and if we actually see the third-party stuff play out, you know, a Bayonetta amiibo, holy crap, that would just be so amazing, right? How much would all of us want that? So I think that there's a lot of potential and opportunity for great things down the road. So, you know, long story short, I'm basically just excited for Amiibos now more than ever because of the recent announcement of all the new Amiibos, the fact that we are getting concrete ideas of how it's working with other games that aren't just Smash Brothers, and the rumors of third-party companies getting in on the mix. I mean, I think that's all great news. So I'm starting to realize that this could be way more than just a niche thing for Nintendo or a gimmicky thing. It could be a viable entertainment platform. And like I said, it could make a lot of money for Nintendo, which we know they kind of needed. It would help kind of feed back into the gaming stuff. And it would strengthen their brand, and it would be really good for gamers and really good for collectors. So I'm excited to get my two Samus ones, all the Zelda-related ones. I want the Star Fox, and I want Mega Man and Sonic. You know, those are like all really super exciting. Shulk. So we'll have to see, you know. And hey, I mean, again, Xenoblade Chronicles X is technically, it is a Nintendo game. It's a Nintendo property. So it would be great to get other Amiibos related to that when it comes out down the road. Splatoon, I mean, that has to be guaranteed, right? I think that we are definitely going to see some Splatoon Amiibos because those kind of characters just fit right into the mold of what they're trying to do. Okay, the one last thing I wanted to make sure to get in on is this whole recent controversy about the fact that some people think the Amiibos don't look as good. They're not living up to the initial prototypes that, you know, Nintendo and Bill Trinen showed off at E3 and the stuff we've seen since, and now people are starting to get them. The Marth figure is the big one that everyone's freaking out about. A lot of my fellow awesome gamers on the Gamers at Large network, they've been posting on Facebook and talking about how a lot of folks are pretty upset about the difference and whether or not the pictures of what they actually look like are photoshopped or accurate or not. And I have 2 points to that. And I guess the first one is we don't really quite yet know if they look as bad as specifically the Marth. It's the only one anyone's talking about. So in relation to Marth, and if that even affects all the other Amiibos as well, we don't really know yet because none of us regular gamers, have Amiibos in our hands yet. So we need to kind of play the wait and see game at least to see if it looks as bad as some of the pictures have shown. I don't really think it will be because I've watched like the IGN unboxing video which showed a lot of the Amiibos, including Martha, and it's like it looked a little bit different for sure, but it still looked okay, you know. So again, the wait and see game I think is important there as far as this controversy goes. The other big thing is who freaking cares? That's the most important thing. Who gives a shit? Like, they are $13 tiny little figures that are really just meant to connect to your goddamn game. So the game functionality needs to deliver on the promise. The face or the way the eye paint or the face shape looks, I mean, whatever, man. Like, really, does that have to be that big of a deal? You know, I can't tell anyone out there, and I will not tell any of you guys how you should feel, but I do think it's kind of silly to feel so upset and betrayed and offended by Nintendo because, oh, the face on Marth, the $13 4-inch little figure doesn't look as good as the prototype they showed 7 months ago. Like, whatever, man. I mean, if these are the kind of things that bothers you and bothers people nowadays, you all have fun with that. I have way too much fun with gaming to let any of that stuff put a stick up my ass and be upset about, again, the $12.99 you will spend on the figure. That is so little money. It's totally okay. Like, I mean, there's a level of, yes, they need to be quality, and I think the reason I get this passionate about why it's not that big a deal is because even if the face looks a little goofy, they're still obviously very high quality. They all look great. They look very beautiful. They're very vibrant and colorful. The shapes, the way the capes look, and the cloth and the characters wearing a lot of clothes, they look great. Like, they look fine. And Marth specifically, he's a freaking anime character. He has huge, big, weird anime eyes. Like, what the hell? What are we even looking at? I don't even know. So, anyway, I don't want to rant, and I kind of just did rant. I just really mean to say, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's fine. It's a $12 Amiibo. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to make Marth a great character in Smash Brothers. That's what it's supposed to do. So just enjoy that and be excited for that aspect and be just like me and just be really damn excited for Amiibos all of a sudden out of nowhere. I thought I wasn't going to care that much, and now I'm realizing that I really do. So kudos to Nintendo. Good on you. You guys are doing the same things you always do, and even when I have the slightest hint of a doubt, you somehow still reel me back in. You release 1 or 2 great pieces of information, you show a few new figures, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm back on board. I want all the goddamn Amiibos, and it's a whole bunch of more freaking money that I have to spend, not only on gaming, period, this year and this Christmas, but on freaking Nintendo. They get all my money. What are you going to do? So, anyway, I think I ranted enough at the end there. You know, hope I didn't offend anyone, but I just feel like, you know, again, remove the sticks out of your behinds, please. They're Amiibo figures. Just get over it. So, anyway, that's my thoughts. That's how I feel about Amiibos. You know, wasn't excited, and now I'm getting excited. And yeah, what do you guys think? You know, I think a lot of you out there probably are excited for Amiibos. The great thing is it's mostly been very positively received. There's a lot of hype. Everyone seems down on it, down for them, I should say. Lots of reserves. A bunch of them have pre-ordered out of stock, so I think they're going to be hard to find for a while. I think it's going to be really successful for Nintendo. You know, do you think they are? Are you excited? Which ones do you want? Do you think Nintendo will do well? What do you think about the third-party rumors? Lots of stuff to talk about. You heard my thoughts. What are yours? Thanks for tuning in. Please feel free to subscribe to Rule of 2 Review, like and share the video, share your comments about Amiibos below. Of course, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next video.